It's me, Jessica Bieber, and today I wanted to talk about something which is like a really, really big throwback, and I don't even know if that many people know this, and that's why I wanted to make this video. But today, I wanted to talk about the original first Caucasian K-pop idol, or whatever you want to call it. I know most of you be thinking, oh, no, the first one's Lana, but no. Let me tell you about Chad Future, because this is a blast from the past. And before I tell you guys all the tea, please do subscribe and turn on the notifications because it helps my channel out a lot. Thank you! So Chad predominantly became like famous or well known in the K-pop fandom around 7 to 8 years ago. He would do English covers of K-pop songs and they were very, very well received, and he became very, very popular in quite, like, I would say a short amount of time. Like, everyone knew about him at one point when it was like 2012, 2013. During his peak popularity, he would have like whole ass sets for these covers and have a production value, and he'd be using professional equipment. But when you look back at them, and I don't mean this in a really shady way, it's so cringy, and I can't even be too mad at it because this is what it was like in 2012, 13 and stuff like that, you know? And we look at it now and be like, oh, this is so cringy. But I remember back in the day, because I remember when he was around, everyone loved him so much, and he was so widely loved, and everyone was supporting him, even to the point where loads and loads of idols loved him, and that's where we're getting on to our next bit. So in 2012 and early 2013, he decided he didn't want to just be a cover artist, he wanted to be someone in the K-pop industry. He wanted to debut in the K-pop industry, he wanted to become a K-pop idol. So he debuted with this song called Hello, featuring someone called Jeremy Thumber. I have no idea who this is, but this song is mainly English with a few bits of Korean sprinkled in it, and it's so bad. And you know, it's like they aren't necessarily really bad singers, the song is just awful, and you know, maybe it's shady for saying that, but the song is really bad. And I saw a lot of people in the comments as well saying that the Korean pronunciation was quite bad as well. You know, I don't know much about Korean pronunciation, but a lot of people were saying the Korean pronunciation was bad, so there's also that. The reason I brought up idols before was that out of nowhere, just a bunch of idols started working with him, and you guys will know these idols as well. So he did a song with Ravi for start. He also had a song with New East's Aaron, and he also had a song with the bestie member Uji, and last but not least, he literally had a song that was produced by Dean and Shinhyuk and also was featuring Ha Sung-woon. Like, hello? Those are, like, I know all of those people. And it genuinely did feel like, at a point of time, I was seeing him with, like, so many different idols, not just the ones he collabed with, and it just genuinely felt like he was everywhere back in the time where he was the most popular, you know? And, you know, I was watching a lot of his content and his old vlogs and stuff, you know, just for, like, some background research on this video. And the thing is, he's genuinely not a bad guy. So I do not have a vendetta against him at all, but it's just so weird to look back at. And you know what I genuinely think? I don't even think Chad knew what the hell he was doing at the time, because there would be parts of his videos where he'd say, oh, I'm inspired by K-pop, but then he would also, like, kind of say that he's kind of working with the K-pop industry now, and, like, it's kind of this back and forth, like, are you, aren't you? And then he would also say he's debuting and he was going to M Countdown. So it was really, really confusing, and I don't know if he knew what he was doing himself. I'm gonna say this, I don't really believe that Chad was a career boo. I do genuinely believe that his old content was extremely cringy and tacky, but that was the style back then. So can I really fault him for following the trends that was kind of back then in 2012-13 era, you know? And let's compare him to another white man who thinks he's a K-pop idol. Let's look at Ollie London and Chad Future together.
I'm not Michael Jackson, I'm Jimin. I'm not going that far.
Ollie.
I'm Ollie. Ollie AO.
Right off the bat, I will genuinely say that Chad Future will never, ever be as cringy as Ollie London. Ever. Period. So first of all, when I was watching some of Chad's vlogs and stuff, I never really saw him perpetuate any Asian stereotypes, kind of fetishize Asians in a way and kind of treat them as less, as I see the way Ollie London does. So I genuinely don't feel like Chad Future is a bad person. I just think that he had very cringy content and it was just that kind of time. The reason I wanted to make this video and the reason why I think the whole Chad Future phenomenon, for lack of a better term, is so interesting to me is because I just wonder if he, I don't know, started creating music at a later time or wanted to debut per se at a later time, I wonder if he would get the same reception that he got then, or would he get the same kind of reception that, for example, Catchy got or EXP got? And that's really what interests me, is because they're both very similar situations, aren't they? They're both, you know, non-Koreans who love K-pop and want to be in the K-pop industry, but are obviously not Korean. So it's just very interesting to me, and I just do wonder what would have happened if he just debuted, I don't know, just like a few years later. So I know some of you, as well as I did, are probably like wondering, well, what the hell happened to him? Where did he go? It's 2020. It's been so long. Where is he? And while I was looking through his content, I found this, a pinned comment that he posted 5 months ago. I'm paused to read the whole thing, but I'm just going to choose a few snippets of it. He begins to talk about, you know, how happy he is to see K-pop grow in America. He talks about how proud he is of BTS for blowing up, and how, you know, in 2012 K-pop was so tiny and short and stuff like that. He then moves on to the music and his content that he made himself, and he just honestly said his intentions were 100% pure and came from an honest place of wanting to create something new that infused American pop and K-pop elements. He says, "I'm not saying we succeeded or failed here, I'll leave that up to you, but I think if you check out the other videos on my channel, you'll see a huge growth from this video to the newest. Much love, Chad Future is coming back 2020. Very interesting. And you know, I respect what he said, I appreciate the honesty, and you know, he seems like a chill dude, but honestly, I don't even know if singing should be the career that he should have went into. As I said before, I don't really necessarily think he's the strongest singer, and I don't really think he possesses enough of the it factor per se to be like a huge kind of, you know, American sensation, if you will, for a lack of better term. If I'm being completely honest, I was never really a fan of Chad's covers back in the day, and maybe it's just because his voice isn't good to me, or it just doesn't sound that good to me, but yeah, it just really wasn't my cup of tea, so I don't really see him blowing up in the West, and that's not me being shady. I'm just kind of trying to look at it from an objective standpoint. I just don't really think he kind of has it, you know what I mean? But, you know, I do respect him. It's really weird to me, and this is another thing I want to talk about. If you guys look at the comments of his videos and you go to the oldest ones, it's really weird because I remember at the time people would praise him so much, but there was actually a lot of criticism under his videos, and I guess it was very pick and choose. I guess people would, you know, praise his covers more, and they would kind of dig at his quote unquote K-pop songs with a little bit more criticism, because when I was looking through his original songs, I saw a lot of criticism, and I was just thinking back, like, I never saw this back in the day. Like, I always just remember seeing him get praised, and it was really weird to me seeing that people back then were like kind of criticizing? Now that is not a word. Criticizing him. But yeah, it is really weird because I just remember he had such a positive reception back in the day, and his like to dislike ratios were pretty good as well. So yeah, it is pretty surprising, honestly. So I genuinely want to ask you guys, what do you think would happen if he made content like this in 2020? Do you think he would have a positive reception, a negative reception, a hate storm? Tell me down below, and I want good answers. I don't want you just to be like, he'll get hate. I want a full-on essay. Yep, that's right. I'll be grading them too. It's true. My personal answer would be, well, yes, of course he would get hate, but I think his hate would not be to the extent that Kachi had, because I think that he wouldn't get as much hate genuinely just due to the fact that he is a man, just because that's how the world works. And you know, I have criticised Kachi in the past before, and I still stand by a lot of my criticisms, but genuinely, I don't think Kachi deserve all the hate that they got, and I don't think that they're bad people, but my criticisms still stand. And I also don't think Chad Future deserves any hate as well. So I genuinely do recommend that you guys check out Chad's old covers, because they are kind of fun to laugh at and look back at. Not shady, they're funny because they're cringy. But yeah, don't be like one of those annoying ass people who just comment nasty things. Like, you know, kind of laugh with him, not at him, I guess, because I kind of feel like he does have some awareness a bit on how cringy his content used to be. So don't be a douche, that's all I'm saying. And that's all I'm gonna say. This is my friend Tora. I told him I would put him in the video if he called himself a gremlin, and he did. So there you go, bestie. Apart from the fact that he is a Hibana hater, he's a pretty good vocal YouTuber, so check him out. But anyways, that is gonna be the rest from me, Jessica Bieber, and I'll see you guys later. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's 3 a.m. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Tell me if you knew Chad before this video or not, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Tell me if you want to talk about anything, and listen to Toki Dance by Hitari. That's a good song.